I came out to him as non-binary on accident. It was just a throwaway conversation. And his response was, "Are you happy? Then I don't care." I'm Ocean. Um, I am a 29-year-old non-binary asexual who has kind of been in the hockey fandom for a very, very long time. I grew up in Detroit in the 90s, and that was kind of my first taste of hockey, was watching it with my dad. So
Yeah, that kind of gets me into my next question. How did Ocean get into hockey?
when my sister was born, it was a way for my dad and I to bond and for him to kind of show me that they weren't forgetting about me with a newer kid in the family. Um, she came home from the hospital the day the Red Wings won the 1997 Stanley Cup. So that's how we all remember it.
I love that. That's really sweet. And what do you love about hockey?
I love the skill of it, like the speed, the way the styles have changed over the years. I love how much the players seem to love the sport too. And it just kind of it's infectious with the fans and the being part of that community.
That's so true. And you can feel it. You can feel it in the stands. You can feel it watching it on television.
Yeah.
Based off your intersection of identities, how could hockey be better for you? And also, how could it be better for the queer community as a whole?
I think for the queer community as a whole, we need to address the rampant homophobia from juniors up. I present female, I know this. Even as a non-binary person, it was hard for me growing up to play hockey because there weren't options for me. Even in rural Detroit where I grew up, it wasn't an option. You didn't have female leagues or mixed leagues. And it's nice to see like the NWHL coming into play now and building those relationships. But yeah, it can be kind of rough. There's an underlying degree of, because I'm a female presenting person who likes hockey, that I must be a puck bunny. And I'm not. I love the sport for the sport. So detangling the sexualization of people with female bodies is something we need to work on too.
Yeah, patriarchal bullshit is a hell of a drug. And so is toxic masculinity and everything else that plays into that. Um, in knowing all this and whatnot, what keeps you in hockey?
It's a way for me to connect with my dad. You know, we don't have a lot in common. Um, and it's just fun. I love going to games. I love, watching players that I respect learn how to be better players and watch them grow over their careers. But yeah, it's definitely it started as a way for me and my dad to stay bonded and have something to talk about, and now it's just become something that all of my friends know that I love.
I love that it's like if you don't like for people out there who may not have much in common with family members, it could be almost a safe space for
Hmm.
connection. And I really love that. That's a beautiful answer and a beautiful reason to enjoy the sport. So I'm happy you have that because it's really important.
Yeah, I'm very lucky to have my dad. I came out to him as non-binary on accident. It was just a throwaway conversation, and his response was, "Are you happy? Then I don't care." So that was it was a throwaway comment in about a hockey conversation. So it was a really sweet little moment for me.
That is sweet. And I hope you are happy and I'm hope, that the sport is adding to your happiness. Um, what gives you hope for queer people in the sport?
Moments like this where we have the ability to connect with other LGBTQ fans of of the sport. Um, I'm fairly isolated in that I keep to a small group of friends, but it's been nice to know that there are people like me out there who still love this sport, even though it doesn't have the best history or the most accepting history of us.
That's so true. And I'm like doing this, I've gone to meet so many different people from all across the rainbow. And it's been so eye-opening on how many of us there are from different identities and different intersections of identities. And it's pretty incredible. We have a special and resilient community. And I'm grateful for people like you who are like living your life as yourself authentically. And that matters so much, Ocean. And I'm grateful to you for doing so. And you know, living as you has made another hockey fan like your father probably more aware of issues within, and that matters so much. So ultimately you, by just existing, are changing the world. um and I'm really grateful for that, so thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Not really. Just thank you for speaking up on the Blackhawk story too. As somebody who lives in Chicago, it's not being talked about here. A couple of my friends are like, "You're the only one we know who knows about it." So, thank you for using your voice on that.
And I won't stop, and I won't stop for all of us. And I know you and others won't stop either. And we're going to make this sport for us, and carve out our space within it, and at the main tables, and not just, you know,
Not just in the sidelines.
yeah, exactly. So thank you. I'm incredibly grateful for you to share. I appreciate you.
Thank you.